Walking on Water, Chapter 3. Dad's turn. No, oh. No thanks, Dad. It's okay. Maybe later. You go first. Dad turned away. She could tell he was disappointed. Josie was hoping that they would run out of time, or petrol or something. Then she wouldn't look so hopeless. You should have a go, Josie. It's fun, Lena said. Everyone is scared at first. I was shaking so much before my first go that I could hardly get my gear on. Josie stared at Lena. It was hard to imagine Lena being that scared. She always looked so relaxed. Josie looked at her own hands. At least they weren't shaking. Are you sure you don't want to go, Josie? Steve asked. Josie hesitated. Maybe it would be okay. Perhaps this time would be different. She opened her mouth to speak, but Steve was looking at her dad. Josie sagged. Looks like it's your turn, Pete, said Steve. This should be a laugh. Dad put on a life jacket. He was already wearing his wetsuit pants and they looked every minute of their age. Dad said they used to be green and navy blue. They had faded to different shades of gray, and the stitching was beginning to fray. It must be nearly 15 years since Dad has been water skiing, Josie was thinking. What if he's forgotten how to ski? This could be embarrassing, even more embarrassing than those wetsuit pants. If Dad fell off, it might make him think. He might begin to know how she felt. Come on, Pete. Let's see if you can still get out of the water, Steve called. Lena and Carlo jumped back into the boat. Dad waded out with the ski and put it on. Lena threw the rope to him. Steve idled the boat out to take up the slack in the rope. Dad wobbled a bit in the water, trying to get himself straight. He gave the thumbs up and the boat took off. So did Dad, straight up and then over, flat on his face. He came up spluttering and coughing. Josie smiled grimly. Good, it was his turn. Josie sat down on her towel at the edge of the beach. She watched as Steve turned the boat and circled back around so Dad could pick up the rope. This time, Dad got up on top of the water. At first, he was stiff and awkward. Then he started to have fun. By the time he was at the halfway point, he was crossing the lake from side to side. He fell off once on the other side of the lake and it seemed to take several tries before he could get up again. This time he skied right behind the boat and didn't try anything fancy. When the boat brought him back to the beach, he tried to glide in, but ended up face first again. He came up frowning. I used to be able to coast in every time. I never fell off. He stood up, then groaned and rubbed his shoulder. You're getting too old for this, laughed Steve from the boat. We'll have to put you back onto skis. Dad's face darkened. Maybe. He dumped the ski on the sand and climbed back into the boat. Your turn, Josie, he yelled. Lena came and sat down next to Josie.